If you refrigerate this food, it will turn into poison. 7 into 7. Foods you must never keep in the fridge. Have you been storing tomatoes, honey, or bread in your refrigerator? If you're over 60, this common habit could be slowly damaging your health in ways you never imagined. Doctors are now discovering that certain everyday foods undergo dangerous chemical transformations when exposed to cold temperatures, and your aging digestive system is particularly vulnerable to these changes. That persistent bloating you've been experiencing, the unexplained nausea after meals, or those sudden bathroom emergencies might not be about getting older at all. They could be direct results of foods you refrigerated this morning. Here's what makes this terrifying. These aren't unusual items. They're sitting in almost every senior's kitchen right now, quietly becoming toxic. Your grandchildren might handle these foods without issues, but after 60, your body processes things differently. One woman from California spent 2 years visiting specialists for mysterious stomach problems before discovering her refrigerator was the culprit. What seemed like careful food preservation was actually creating compounds her body could no longer safely process. The foods I'm about to reveal will shock you. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover 7 common foods that become genuinely harmful when refrigerated, and why this matters more after 60 than at any other time in your life. I'll walk you through the exact science behind why cold temperatures trigger toxic changes in these specific items, and how your aging metabolism makes you especially susceptible to their effects. You'll learn which popular pantry staples are currently sitting in your fridge right now, silently developing compounds that strain your liver, disrupt your digestion, and weaken your immune system. More importantly, I'll show you exactly where these foods should be stored instead, with simple storage solutions that actually extend their freshness while keeping them safe. We'll cover the warning signs your body sends when you've consumed these refrigerated toxins, so you can identify if you've already been affected. By the end of this video, you'll know how to reorganize your kitchen to protect your health, save money by preventing food spoilage, and potentially eliminate those frustrating digestive issues you've been attributing to age. This isn't about complicated changes or expensive storage containers. These are straightforward adjustments that take minutes to implement, but could add years of healthy living to your life. Let's start with the most dangerous offender. After 6 decades of life, your body operates differently than it did in your 30s or 40s, and nowhere is this more critical than in how you process food. Your digestive enzymes decrease by nearly 30% after age 60. Your liver takes longer to filter toxins, and your gut bacteria become more sensitive to chemical changes in what you eat. This means foods that younger people tolerate easily can trigger serious reactions in your system. Here's where refrigeration becomes dangerous. Cold temperatures cause specific molecular changes in certain foods. Starches convert into resistant compounds your weakened enzymes struggle to break down. Natural sugars crystallize into forms that spike blood glucose unpredictably. Oils solidify and oxidize, creating inflammatory substances your aging cells can't efficiently eliminate. The refrigerator industry has spent decades convincing us that cold preservation equals safety, but this blanket approach ignores basic food chemistry. Different foods require different storage environments, And when we violate these requirements, we don't just lose flavor or texture. We actually create new chemical structures that weren't present in the original food. Your grandparents understood this instinctively, storing foods in root cellars, pantries, and bread boxes based on generations of wisdom. Modern convenience has overridden that knowledge, and seniors are paying the price with their health. Food. 1. Tomatoes are the first culprit, and refrigerating them creates a cascade of problems that directly impact your health after 60. When you place tomatoes in cold temperatures below 55 degrees Fahrenheit, their cell membranes break down and release enzymes that destroy flavor compounds. But more dangerously, this breakdown triggers the formation of solanine-like alkaloids. These are mildly toxic substances that your younger body could neutralize easily, but your aging liver processes them much slower, allowing accumulation in your system. The cold also converts the natural pectin in tomatoes into a form that ferments differently in your gut, producing excess gas and bloating that seniors already struggle with due to reduced stomach acid production. You might notice that refrigerated tomatoes give you heartburn or indigestion within hours of eating them, while room temperature tomatoes don't cause the same reaction. This isn't coincidence. The enzymatic changes create compounds that irritate your esophageal lining, which becomes more sensitive with age. Beyond the digestive impact, cold storage destroys up to 60% of the lycopene content, the powerful antioxidant that protects your prostate, heart, and vision. After 60, you need every bit of lycopene you can get. Store your tomatoes on the counter, stem side down, away from direct sunlight. They'll ripen perfectly and remain safe for your system to process without creating those problematic chemical changes that burden your aging metabolism. Food. 2. Honey is the second food that becomes problematic when refrigerated. And this surprises most people because honey seems indestructible. When you store honey in cold temperatures, it undergoes crystallization that fundamentally alters its molecular structure. These crystals aren't just about texture. They form glucose clusters that your pancreas struggles to regulate, especially concerning since diabetes and prediabetes affect nearly half of all adults over 65. The rapid crystallization creates sharp sugar spikes, followed by crashes that leave you feeling exhausted and dizzy. Your body's insulin response has already slowed with age, and these erratic glucose patterns put unnecessary strain on your already taxed system. The cold also thickens honey to the point where many seniors heat it in the microwave to make it usable again. This reheating after refrigeration destroys the beneficial enzymes and antimicrobial properties that make raw honey valuable for immune support. You're left with essentially sugar syrup that offers none of honey's natural health benefits. Even worse, the temperature fluctuations between cold storage and reheating create hydroxymethylfurfural, a compound that studies link to cellular damage and oxidative stress. Your cells at 60 and beyond already face increased oxidative damage from normal aging. Adding more through improper honey storage accelerates this process. Some seniors also develop sensitivity to the altered protein structures in crystallized honey, experiencing throat irritation or mild allergic responses they never had before. Honey is naturally antimicrobial and never spoils when stored properly. Keep it in your pantry at room temperature in a sealed container. It will remain perfectly smooth, retain all its health benefits, and your body will process its sugars the way nature intended, without those dangerous spikes that stress your aging cardiovascular and metabolic systems. Food. 3. Potatoes present one of the most dangerous refrigeration scenarios for seniors, yet millions store them in the crisper drawer, thinking they're extending freshness. When potatoes sit in temperatures below 45 degrees, their starches rapidly convert into sugars through a process called cold-induced sweetening. This isn't just about taste. These converted sugars interact with amino acids during cooking to produce acrylamide, a neurotoxic compound classified as a probable carcinogen. Your body at any age shouldn't be exposed to acrylamide, but after 60, your kidneys filter toxins less efficiently, meaning these compounds linger longer in your bloodstream. Research shows that refrigerated potatoes produce up to 4 times more acrylamide when fried or roasted compared to those stored at room temperature. Even if you're not concerned about long-term cancer risk, the immediate neurological effects matter. Acrylamide interferes with nerve signal transmission, and many seniors already experience numbness, tingling, or balance issues. Adding dietary neurotoxins worsens these symptoms. The sugar conversion also means refrigerated potatoes cause sharper blood sugar spikes when eaten, problematic for the millions of seniors managing glucose levels. Beyond acrylamide, cold storage breaks down the cell walls in potatoes, making them release more resistant starch that your weakened digestive enzymes cannot fully break down. This feeds harmful bacteria in your colon, leading to gas, cramping, and irregular bowel movements. The proper storage location is a cool, dark, dry place, like a pantry or cupboard, ideally between 45 and 50 degrees. A paper bag works perfectly, allowing air circulation while blocking light that triggers sprouting. Never store potatoes near onions, as the gases onions release accelerate potato spoilage. Stored correctly, potatoes remain fresh for weeks without converting their starches into those dangerous sugars, and when you cook them, you'll avoid creating the acrylamide that poses real risks to your aging nervous system and cellular health. Food 4. Garlic becomes a genuine health hazard when refrigerated, transforming from a medicinal powerhouse into something that can actually harm your body after 60. Cold temperatures cause garlic cloves to sprout prematurely, and these green shoots contain allicin compounds in concentrations far higher than the rest of the bulb. While allicin has benefits in moderate amounts, excessive levels irritate your stomach lining and can trigger severe acid reflux, something seniors already battle due to weakened esophageal sphincters. The sprouted portions also develop bitter alkaloids that stress your liver as it works overtime to process them. More concerning is what happens to garlic's moisture content in refrigeration. The humidity in your fridge creates the perfect environment for botulism spores to activate on garlic surfaces. Botulism toxin is one of the deadliest substances known, and while full-blown botulism is rare, low-level exposure causes symptoms seniors often dismiss as normal aging: muscle weakness, difficulty swallowing, blurred vision, and fatigue. Your immune system at 60+ isn't as robust at fighting off these bacterial threats. Additionally, refrigerated garlic loses its sulfur compounds that provide cardiovascular benefits you desperately need. These compounds help lower blood pressure and reduce arterial plaque, but cold storage degrades them within days. You're storing something that no longer delivers the heart protection that makes garlic valuable in senior diets. The texture also becomes rubbery and the flavor turns harsh, meaning you'll use less of it and miss out on its natural antibiotic properties during cold and flu season, when your immunity needs all the help it can get. Store whole garlic bulbs in a mesh bag or open container in your pantry where air circulates freely. The ideal temperature is around 60 degrees with low humidity. Never store garlic in plastic bags or sealed containers, as trapped moisture accelerates spoilage and bacterial growth. A terracotta garlic keeper with ventilation holes is perfect if you want to invest a few dollars. Properly stored garlic lasts 2 to 3 months, maintains its medicinal compounds and won't develop those dangerous sprouts or create conditions for bacterial contamination that your aging body struggles to fight off. Food. 5. Bread undergoes a particularly insidious transformation in the refrigerator that most seniors don't recognize until the damage is done. When bread hits cold temperatures, a process called starch retrogradation accelerates dramatically. The starch molecules that were broken down during baking recrystallize into forms your digestive system cannot properly process. For someone over 60 with reduced amylase enzyme production, this recrystallized starch passes through your small intestine largely undigested, feeding problematic bacteria in your colon. This bacterial overgrowth produces toxic metabolites, including ammonia and indole compounds that your aging liver must filter, creating additional burden on an organ already working harder with each passing year. The gas and bloating that follows isn't just uncomfortable. It indicates your gut microbiome is being thrown off balance, weakening the immune function that 70% of your immune cells depend on. Refrigerated bread also becomes a magnet for mold spores that thrive in the moisture-rich environment of your fridge. These molds produce mycotoxins that are particularly dangerous for seniors because your body's detoxification pathways slow significantly after 60. Even if you don't see visible mold, the mycotoxins penetrate deep into the bread structure. Consuming them regularly leads to chronic inflammation, joint pain, brain fog, and persistent fatigue that doctors often misattribute to normal aging. The cold also destroys the beneficial bacteria in sourdough and whole grain breads that support your gut health. These probiotics die off within 24 hours of refrigeration, leaving you with empty calories instead of the digestive support your system needs. Many seniors notice that refrigerated bread gives them immediate stomach discomfort or sends them rushing to the bathroom. This is your body rejecting the recrystallized starches it can no longer break down. Keep bread in a bread box or paper bag at room temperature where it stays fresh for several days. If you buy in bulk, freeze what you won't use within 3 days. Freezing halts all molecular activity without triggering retrogradation, and thawed bread retains its original digestibility. Your digestive system will thank you by functioning smoothly without the bloating, irregular bowel movements and toxic load that refrigerated bread creates in your aging gut. Food. 6. Onions become surprisingly dangerous when refrigerated, and the risks multiply significantly for anyone over 60. When you cut an onion and place it in the fridge, even in a sealed container, it begins absorbing bacteria and odors from surrounding foods at an alarming rate. Onions are naturally porous, and once their protective outer layers are removed, they act like sponges drawing in whatever microorganisms are floating in your refrigerator air. Your immune system has declined by roughly 40% from its peak, making you far more susceptible to the food poisoning bacteria that colonize these stored onions. Salmonella and E. coli find cut onions particularly hospitable, and a bacterial load that a younger person might fight off can hospitalize a senior. Beyond bacterial contamination, refrigerated onions undergo enzymatic changes that produce excessive amounts of syn-propanethyl S-oxide, the compound responsible for making you cry. But in concentrated forms, it irritates your respiratory system. Many seniors already deal with reduced lung capacity or conditions like COPD, and inhaling these intensified fumes when you open your fridge can trigger coughing fits or breathing difficulties. The cold also causes onions to release sulfur compounds that interact with medications commonly prescribed to older adults. These sulfur metabolites interfere with blood thinners like warfarin, creating unpredictable clotting times that put you at risk for strokes or dangerous bleeding episodes. Most doctors never think to ask about refrigerated onions when your INR levels fluctuate mysteriously. The moisture in refrigeration turns onions slimy and breaks down their cell structure, releasing quercetin in oxidized forms that lose their anti-inflammatory benefits. You need quercetin's protection against arthritis and cardiovascular disease, but refrigeration destroys exactly what makes onions valuable for aging bodies. Store whole uncut onions in a cool, dry, well-ventilated area away from potatoes. A hanging basket or mesh bag works perfectly, allowing air to circulate around each bulb. Once cut, either use the entire onion in your cooking that day, or if you must save a portion, wrap it tightly and use it within 24 hours maximum. Better yet, plan your meals to use whole onions so you never have to store cut pieces. This simple change eliminates the bacterial contamination risk, preserves the beneficial compounds your body needs, and prevents those dangerous interactions with your medications that could land you in the emergency room. Food 7. Olive oil represents the most shocking refrigeration danger because it's marketed as a health food, yet cold storage transforms it into something that actively harms your cardiovascular system. When olive oil temperatures drop below 50 degrees, the healthy monounsaturated fats begin to solidify and undergo a process called lipid peroxidation. This creates free radicals and oxidized compounds called lipid peroxides that attack your cell membranes, damage your arterial walls, and accelerate the very heart disease you're trying to prevent by using olive oil in the first place. After 60, your antioxidant defenses are naturally depleted, meaning you have fewer resources to neutralize these free radicals. Each time you consume refrigerated olive oil, you're essentially introducing aging accelerators directly into your bloodstream. The solidification also causes the oil's delicate polyphenols to separate and degrade. These polyphenols are what make extra virgin olive oil protective against cognitive decline, inflammation, and cancer. Refrigeration destroys up to 80% of these compounds within a week, leaving you with basically expensive cooking grease that offers none of the brain protection or anti-inflammatory benefits your aging body desperately requires. The cloudiness you see when olive oil gets cold isn't harmless. Those are crystallized fatty acids that your gallbladder and pancreas struggle to emulsify and digest. Many seniors have sluggish bile production, and consuming these crystallized fats triggers gallbladder pain, nausea, and poor nutrient absorption. You're not getting the fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K that depend on proper fat digestion, creating deficiencies that weaken your bones, vision, and immune response. Perhaps most disturbing is that refrigerated olive oil can harbor condensation that introduces water molecules into the oil. This water promotes rancidity even faster than heat does, and rancid oils contain aldehydes that are directly toxic to your liver cells. Your liver at 60 plus is already processing medications and filtering environmental toxins. Adding dietary aldehydes from rancid oil overwhelms its capacity, leading to elevated liver enzymes and reduced detoxification ability. Store olive oil in a dark glass bottle in a cool cupboard away from the stove, never in the refrigerator. Heat and light are enemies, but so is excessive cold. The ideal storage temperature is between 57 and 70 degrees. Buy smaller bottles that you'll finish within 2 months to ensure freshness, and always smell your oil before using it. If it smells like crayons or old nuts, it's already oxidized and should be discarded. Properly stored olive oil maintains its protective compounds, supports your heart and brain health, and won't burden your digestive system with those dangerous crystallized fats and free radicals that refrigeration creates. Creating a safe food storage system requires understanding that your kitchen has multiple climate zones, each suited for different foods. Your pantry or cupboard should maintain temperatures between 50 and 70 degrees with low humidity, perfect for oils, honey, and garlic. Invest in a simple kitchen thermometer to monitor these areas, especially during summer months when temperatures can spike. For potatoes and onions, find the coolest spot in your home that isn't the refrigerator. A basement corner, utility room, or even a closet on an exterior wall works beautifully. Use breathable containers like woven baskets, mesh bags, or brown paper bags that allow air circulation while blocking light. Never use plastic bags or airtight containers for produce that needs to breathe. Bread requires a dedicated bread box or a paper bag placed in a dry cupboard. If you don't have a bread box, a clean kitchen towel wrapped loosely around the loaf works surprisingly well. The fabric absorbs excess moisture while allowing just enough airflow to prevent mold. Tomatoes belong on your countertop in a single layer, never stacked, where you can monitor their ripening daily. Place them stem side down to prevent moisture loss through the scar where they were picked. A small ceramic or wooden bowl near your cutting board keeps them visible so you use them at peak ripeness. Label everything with purchase dates using a marker and masking tape. After 60, memory isn't always reliable, and knowing exactly how long something has been stored prevents you from consuming items past their safe window. Set up your storage zones once, and maintaining them becomes automatic. These simple changes cost almost nothing but protect your health in ways that are absolutely priceless. You now possess knowledge that can genuinely transform your daily health and well-being. Those 7 foods, tomatoes, honey, potatoes, garlic, bread, onions and olive oil, have likely been sitting in your refrigerator for years, quietly contributing to digestive problems, fatigue and inflammation you blamed on aging. The truth is liberating. Many symptoms you accepted as inevitable are actually preventable through proper food storage. Your body after 60 deserves every advantage, and removing these hidden toxins gives your system the chance to function at its best. Within days of implementing these storage changes, you'll likely notice improved digestion, more stable energy levels, and reduced bloating. Within weeks, chronic inflammation may decrease, and those mysterious aches might fade. This isn't about complicated dietary overhauls or expensive supplements. This is about respecting how food chemistry works and honoring your body's changing needs. You've spent 6 decades or more on this earth, and you deserve to feel vibrant and strong. Take 30 minutes today to reorganize your kitchen using these principles. Your future self will thank you for this simple act of self-care that costs nothing but delivers immeasurable benefits to your health and quality of life. If this information opened your eyes to storage mistakes you've been making for years, please hit that like button right now. Your support helps us reach more seniors who need this life-changing knowledge. Share this video with your friends, your siblings, your neighbors, anyone over 60 who deserves to know how their refrigerator might be undermining their health. Leave a comment telling us which of these 7 foods surprised you most, or if you've already experienced relief after changing your storage habits. Your stories inspire our entire community and help others realize they're not alone in these struggles. Subscribe to our channel because we're dedicated to bringing you practical research-backed advice that actually improves your daily life after 60. We cut through the confusion and give you straight answers that protect your health. Don't let another day go by storing these foods incorrectly. Take action today and reclaim the vitality you deserve.